We have a trader who turned 7k into $177,000 in just 3 weeks. Someone lost more than $500,000 in the past year. And we have a trader who made $1.7 million in just one day. And we are starting off with an insane gain by Jetaway. It all started with snap puts, 7k to 177k in 3 weeks. As we can see today, he's up by 42% or around 52k, and his account is worth exactly $177,007.13. It all started on October the 18th when he posted his YOLO on Snap. He bought around $7,000 worth of Snap put options with a striking price at $8.50 and an expiration date on October the 21st of 2022. A couple of days later, he was already up by more than 500% and his account was worth around $45,000. And apparently Snap Play is what saved him from the dumps, as it was his last 7k in the account. Then he bought around $31,000 worth of Coca-Cola weekly call options with a striking price at $59 and expiration date on November the 11th. 2 days later, he was already up by more than 90% or around 28k, and his account was worth $68,817.04. Then his account value jumped to $110,961.71 because he bought Meta put options with a striking price at $120 and expiration date on October the 28th, and because he bought Apple calls with a striking price at $150 and expiration date on November the 4th. And lastly, he made a lot of money on ASTS call options with a striking price at $10 and expiration date on December the 16th, and on SPY FDs, which got his account all the way up to 177k, and he's hoping to cross 200k next week. Then he's going to YOLO 100k on something to get to the 2 comma club, and I already have a feeling that he'll lose it all. And since he prefers all or nothing, I guess this seals the deal. And if you're not already subscribed, it would mean a ton to me if you just press that button. It's free and you'll help me out a lot at reaching my goal of 400 subscribers. Thank you. Anyway, next we have an insane loss by Everton. Mrs. Woods, I don't feel so good. As we can see, in the past year he's down by 78% or $574,926.16, and he's left with around 160k. Looking at his chart, we can see that he was never in profit, and the chart falls quite steeply at the beginning and then it just moves up and down by a small amount. Among his pending orders are 2 buys to close of Roku calls, which is him selling calls on leftover Roku shares he has. His total investment from the beginning was 434k, so he's down nearly 300k of his own money. He has learned his lesson to never use margin again, especially in this environment where interest rates go up every month. Margin rates also go up. It's all fun and games until reality hits you. Another lesson he has learned is that money is just money. Yes, it's affected him mentally in ways not everyone can probably relate to, but he's lucky and grateful to have his health, friends and family. Enjoy this loss, but he hopes this makes anyone out there also hurting feel a little bit better. Stay safe everyone, and don't degen too hard. And more specifically, he invested in ArcK, Block, Shopify and Filio. Feels bad, but at least he'll stop using margin. Next we have a huge gain by Aces Full Coup, from down 30% yesterday to up 50% today. Do I hold is the question. I find it especially funny how a lot of people come to this subreddit looking for financial advice. As we can see, he's up by 48% or around 12.6k because he bought Amazon call options with a striking price at $100 and an expiration date on March the 17th of 2023. And his calls went up by so much because in his genius he decided to hold his position through the CPI report. And well, the stock rallied by more than 12% on that very same day. And the reason why he's deciding whether to sell or hold is because he has missed a few 100k by selling too early. Dude, if it's worth posting the screenshot, sell it. I do live by that motto. I sold, but in 2020 hindsight he should have held until today, as he would have been up by another 7k. And because he once more he decided to buy 50 calls on Amazon with a striking price at $110 for the next week. If it fills the gap, he could make another 25k. Complete gamble. Next up we have a huge loss by Napa Knows, who had a fun ride trading 0 days till expiry index options. Just today he's down by 35% or around 35k, but from the peak of his ride he's down by around $145,000. He started in May and his trading was relatively stable until the beginning of July, when he got a first first major win. Then his account continued falling down until the middle of August, when he made a 180 and doubled his account in half a month, and then in September his account just skyrocketed to $210,000, but it unfortunately dropped down almost as fast as it rose up, and now his chart resembles Batman. But to be fair, even though he lost a lot of potential gains, he's still up by 36%, around 17k. He was trading SPX and he would buy a call or a put on market open or within the first candle, depending on the direction, and hold for 15 minutes to an hour. He also didn't use a stop loss, and he would sell when a position was 40% down. It worked for 6 weeks until VIX started getting high and options became more expensive. Exit strategy was to sell when the position doubled or he saw something he didn't like in the charts. He also paid attention to how the Dow was doing relative to the S&P 500. And the last trade he did was buying weekly SPX puts with a striking price at $3,815 and an expiration date on November the 2nd for around 50k, and selling it 24 minutes later for just 14k. But hey, right now he's still in profit, so maybe his strategy just needs a bit of fine tuning. Next up we have a huge gain by Joe's ass. Hey idiots, the guy who bet 7k on SPY calls yesterday successfully turned $945 into 30k this week. Thanks. As you can see, on November the 9th he bought 61 call options on SPY with a striking price at $384 and an expiration date on November the 11th. So he was betting that the CPI report was going to prompt a bullish reaction from the market. And he was right. SPY opened 3.7% in the green and closed at more than 5% in the green. So right at open he was already up by more than 330% or $26,514.10, and luckily he already sold and secured his gain. He's already going to get screwed on taxes and can't risk any loss on more YOLOs. He'll be back on January the 1st. That being said, he changed his mind. His thoughts are giving back to the hedges, and to do this he's thinking about tomorrow expiry Tesla puts. Not a financial advice. There is no way this doesn't go tits up. And well, here's what happened. Alright idiots, you were right. Gambled today and lost 10k out of the 34k I had this week. Heard someone said something about SPX being 3 times leveraged and he said YOLO it, so I have. Which is honestly natural WallStreetBets behavior. And as we can see, he's down by around 30% or $10,189.98. And he lost a third of his money because he bought 140 SPXL put options with a striking price at $69.50 and an expiration date on November the 18th. And as far as I can tell, he didn't sell. So if the market drops on Monday, he makes money. But if it doesn't, he'll lose a lot more. And last but not least, we have an insane gain by Robert Lamkin 20. He just made $1.7 million in one day. As we can see, on November the 9th, his accounts were worth $1,605,368.40. And on November the 10th, his accounts rose all the way up to $3,378,730.47. So he's been swing trading the S&P 500, so SPY and now SPX, for the past few quarters with good returns. He entered the week with very bullish positions, including his old SPY position, which was mostly intact. He sold a part of that position and loaded up on even more SPX calls. Yesterday was brutal. He was down 363k on the day, and his portfolio evaporated to $1.6 million from the $2.3 million 2 weeks ago. Contrasted with today, which was his single best day by far. He more than doubled his portfolio, adding over $1.7 million. He sold around 50% of his calls at the close of the market, and Fidelity doesn't capture cash gains properly, so it's not showing up correctly. And this image of the chart shows how he's currently thinking about playing the market. He's still a short-term bull. He had to lock in gains, although he was tempted to let them ride. But long-term he still thinks we're and he's a full bear. And if you're wondering, this money came from 20 years of investing on much less risky plays than this week's. And he actually started with just 13k a long time ago. He's going to go for one more play and then he'll move to safer investment strategies. Hopes the last one doesn't get him. Huge respects to him, and I hope he continues on his epic trading journey. And if you want to see how this trader got margin called and has to pay more than $300,000, click on the video that just popped up. And if that is not enough, smash the subscribe button as you'll help me out a lot in reaching my goal of 400 subscribers by the end of this month. If you have any questions or recommendations, leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.